Hey, greetings, my literary gladiators, my narrative navigators, my absolute addictive, the instained Odyssey. It is your boy, Mike, emerging, blinking, slightly dazed, but utterly electrified from the labyrinthine, mind-bending, soul-stretching, goddamn monolith of a book that I have just, by some miracle of caffeine and sheer bloody-minded determination, conquered. We are talking about the Everest of English literature, the enigma, the legend. The one that strikes fear and awe into the hearts of readers everywhere, James Joyce's Ulysses. Seriously, people, if you've ever looked at this book on a shelf and thought, nah, too hard, too weird, too Joycean, well, I'm here today from the heart of the slightly unhinged novelness to tell you you're not entirely wrong. It is hard. It is weird. It is supremely Joycean. But oh my God, the payoff. This isn't just a book. It's a literary pilgrimage. It's like trying to map the entire human consciousness with all its glorious, messy, mundane, and magnificent detours, all crammed into a single day in Dublin. My brain feels like it's been rewired. My understanding of what a novel can be has been shattered and rebuilt. And I am absolutely buzzing to try and unpack this beautiful beast with you. All right, let's set the stage. Forget sweeping epics across continents. Joyce zooms in, microscope style, on one day, June 16th, 1904, Bloomsday, as it's now known, and our epic unfolds on the streets, in the pubs, in the homes, and most importantly, inside the minds of the inhabitants of Dublin, Ireland. This isn't your picturesque postcard Dublin. Joyce gives you the grime, the glory, the smells, the sounds, the body humor, the intellectual debates, the petty grievances, the profound loneliness, the fleeting moments of connection. You can almost taste the Guinness, hear the clatter of horse-drawn trams, feel the damp Irish air. It's a city teeming with life, with history, with ghosts of its own. And Joyce plunges you headfirst into the stream of consciousness of its people, no life raft provided. It's disorienting, it's chaotic, it's challenging, but man, is it alive. And the characters, or should I say, the consciousnesses we inhabit. This isn't about grand heroes and villains in the traditional sense. This is about flawed, fumbling, profoundly human beings. Leopold Bloom, our modern-day Odysseus. Oh, Paldy. He's a middle-aged Jewish advertising canvasser, an outsider in many ways, kind, curious, a little cuckolded, his wife Molly is having an affair, haunted by the death of his infant son. His core motivation? It's a quiet quest for connection, for understanding, for some kind of affirmation in a world that often seems indifferent or hostile. His fatal flaw? Perhaps his passivity, his tendency to observe rather than act decisively, his internal wanderings, but his compelling quality, his immense empathy, his boundless curiosity about everything and everyone, his gentle humanity. I felt such a deep, almost painful tenderness for Bloom. You spend so much time inside his head with all his anxieties, his random thoughts, his bodily functions. Joyce does not shy away from the bodily, folks, that he becomes incredibly real, incredibly relatable, despite his specific circumstances. His arc is less a dramatic transformation and more a subtle internal navigation of his day, his grief, and his marriage. Stephen Dedalus, outer Telemachus, searching for a spiritual father, young, fiercely intelligent, an aspiring writer, an aesthete, burdened by guilt over his mother's death and his rejection of a normal Irish Catholic life. His core motivation is a desperate search for artistic and intellectual freedom, for a way to forge his own identity, to fly by those nets of nationality, language, religion. His fatal flaw? His intellectual pride, his aloofness, his tendency towards self-pity, and paralysis. He's brilliant, but he's also a bit of an insufferable, navel-gazing young pup at times. I wanted to shake him and tell him to get over himself, but I also deeply understood his artistic angst and his yearning for meaning. His journey is about confronting his own ghosts and seeking a mentor, a connection that might help him break free. Molly Bloom, Penelope, waiting for not. We only truly get inside Molly's head in the final, unpunctuated, absolutely mind-blowing monologue of the book. She's earthy, sensual, uninhibited in her thoughts, reminiscing about her past, her lovers, her frustrations with Leopold, her desires. Her core motivation is a deep-seated sensuality and a yearning for life and affirmation, Her flaw might be seen as her infidelity, but Joyce presents her with such unvarnished honesty that she transcends simple judgment. She's a force of nature. That final chapter, it's like a dam bursting. It made me feel exhilarated, shocked, and profoundly moved by its sheer, unadulterated humanity. Yes, I said yes. I will. Yes. Chills. And then there's the city of Dublin itself, teeming with a cast of hundreds. Barflies, newspapermen, medical students, nationalists, eccentrics, each with their own fleeting moment, their own voice in this incredible urban symphony. Plot? Huh. If you're looking for a traditional plot in Ulysses, you're barking up the wrong literary tree. The plot is simply the wanderings of Bloom and Stephen through Dublin on June 16th, their paths occasionally crossing, culminating in their eventual meeting. It loosely parallels Homer's Odyssey, with each chapter or episode corresponding to an episode from the epic, often in wildly inventive and parodic ways. The real action is internal. It's the stream of consciousness, the thoughts, memories, associations, anxieties, and desires flooding through the characters' minds. The conflicts are about identity, grief, art, nationalism, religion, love, betrayal, the search for meaning in a seemingly chaotic world. Moments that utterly blew my mind or left me reeling. The sheer audacity of the stylistic shifts. Each chapter has its own unique style, its own literary technique. One chapter is written like a newspaper with headlines, another like a play script, another is a catechism, another mimics the development of English prose styles through history. It's a dazzling, sometimes infuriating display of literary pyrotechnics. The Circe episode, hallucinatory descent into Dublin's brothel district, written like a surreal play. It's wild, it's disturbing, it's where Bloom and Stephen confront their deepest fears and desires. It's like Joyce mainlined a fever dream and just typed it all out. The Oxen of the Sun episode. The one that charts the gestation of a baby alongside the evolution of English prose. It starts with archaic Latinate prose and ends in a cacophony of modern slang. It's an absolute linguistic tour de force that made my brain ache in the best possible way. Bloom's quiet acts of kindness and empathy amidst the chaos, buying soap, feeding seagulls, attending a funeral. These small moments are so deeply human. Stephen's intellectual sparring and his internal wrestling with art and religion. And of course, Molly Bloom's final soliloquy. It's a torrent, a river of female consciousness that is breathtaking in its frankness and its affirmation of life. The stakes are not about saving the world, they're about navigating a single day, surviving your own mind, finding a moment of connection or understanding, and in Joyce's hands, that's more epic than any battle. Why does this notoriously difficult book make these synapses of this particular book addict fire on all cylinders? Joyce's linguistic genius is astounding. The man wasn't just writing, he was inventing. The wordplay, the puns, the neologisms, the allusions, the way he captures the rhythm and cadence of thought and speech, it's unparalleled. This is a book that makes you fall in love with the English language all over again, even as it stretches it to its absolute limits. I was constantly looking things up, making connections, feeling my own vocabulary expand just by being in its presence. The stream of consciousness is a revelation. To be so deeply immersed in the inner workings of another mind or multiple minds is an incredibly intimate and profound experience. It's messy, it's non-linear, it's full of tangents and random associations, just like our own minds. It feels incredibly, sometimes uncomfortably real. The sheer ambition and scope to try and capture the totality of human experience, the mundane and the mythic, within the confines of one day in one city, it's an act of breathtaking literary audacity. And somehow, miraculously, he pulls it off. The humor. Yes, Ulysses can be incredibly funny. There's body humor, intellectual wit, situational comedy, the absurdity of human behavior. Bloom, in particular, has a wonderfully wry internal monologue. The layers upon layers of meaning. This is a book you could spend a lifetime unpacking. The Homeric parallels, the historical references, the philosophical underpinnings, the literary allusions. It's an endlessly rewarding puzzle box for the dedicated reader. Every reread reveals something new. As a crazy book addict, that's like striking intellectual gold. It's a celebration of the ordinary. Amidst all the literary fireworks, at its heart, Ulysses is about ordinary people living ordinary lives. Bloom isn't a king or a warrior, he's an ad canvasser. And yet his internal journey is portrayed as being as significant, as epic as Odysseus's. Joyce elevates the everyday to the level of myth. This isn't just a stylistic experiment. Ulysses is wrestling with some of the biggest questions out there. Identity and alienation. Who are we? How do we define ourselves in relation to our families, our nation, our religion, our own bodies? Bloom is a Jew in Catholic Dublin. Stephen is an artist alienated from his country and faith. They are both searching for a sense of belonging. The father-son relationship. Stephen is searching for a spiritual father. Bloom is grieving his lost son. Their brief, almost anticlimactic meeting is one of the emotional cruxes of the novel. Love, marriage, and infidelity. The complexities of the Bloom marriage, Molly's affair, Leopold's own voyeuristic tendencies. Joyce explores the messy, often contradictory nature of human relationships with unflinching honesty. The search for meaning in a modern world. In a world where old certainties, religion, nationalism are crumbling, how do we find meaning? For Stephen, it's art. For Bloom, it's perhaps a kind of compassionate humanism. The power and limitations of language. Joyce is obsessed with language, its ability to create worlds, to express the ineffable, but also its potential to mislead, to obscure, to fail us. The body and consciousness. Joyce doesn't separate the mind from the body. Thoughts are intertwined with physical sensations, desires, bodily functions. It's a holistic view of human experience. This book made me think about the sheer, overwhelming complexity of a single human mind, the infinite worlds contained within each of us. It made me appreciate the epiphanies in everyday life, those small moments of sudden insight or connection. It's a book that forces you to pay attention to language, to thought, to the world around you. Finishing Ulysses is not like finishing any other book. It's like emerging from a whirlwind, a fever dream, a deep-sea dive into the collective unconscious. I feel intellectually pummeled, emotionally wrung out, and yet, strangely, wonderfully expanded. It's frustrating, it's confusing, it's infuriating at times, yes, but it's also dazzling, profound, hilarious, heartbreaking, and ultimately deeply, deeply human. It stands out because there is simply nothing else like it. It's a literary landmark, a game changer. It blew the doors off what a novel could do. The sheer audacity, the intellectual firepower, the commitment to capturing the ineluctable modality of the invisible and the invisible, it's breathtaking. It's a book that, if you give yourself to it, will change you as a reader. It might even change you as a person. It's a testament to the power of art to challenge, to provoke, and to illuminate the darkest and brightest corners of human existence. So, my fearless, intrepid, possibly slightly masochistic novelisters, am I going to tell you Ulysses is an easy read? Hell no. Is it for everyone? Probably not. But if you are a true crazy book addict, if you crave a literary challenge that will push your boundaries, expand your mind, and reward your efforts 1,000-fold, then I say to you, dare to tackle Ulysses. Get a good annotated edition. Find a reading guide. Join a reading group. Take it slow. Don't be afraid to be confused. Embrace the chaos, because the journey, however arduous, is so worth it. This is a bucket list book for any serious reader. What are your Ulysses stories? Did you conquer it? Did it conquer you? What parts blew your mind or drove you nuts? Who is your favorite character to get lost in? Bloom, Stephen, Molly? Let's get a properly Joycean stream of consciousness, slightly bewildering, but ultimately brilliant discussion going in the comments below. I need to know I'm not alone in my beautiful, beautiful madness. All right, that is the absolutely exhausted but utterly exhilarated dispatch from your devoted, slightly changed, and eternally grateful correspondent here at the Novel Nest. If this descent into the Dublin inferno and paradise has intrigued or terrified you in a good way, then, for the love of Bloomsday and all that is linguistically ludicrous, smash that like button until it sings like an Irish bard. And if you haven't yet joined our band of literary adventurers willing to scale the highest peaks of literature, what in the name of Leopold Bloom's wandering thoughts are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's get lost in more masterpieces together. Until our next epic read, keep challenging yourselves, keep exploring, and remember, sometimes the most difficult journeys yield the most profound views. Peace out, you magnificent literary explorers.